Hello everybody and welcome back to yet another Just Cause 4 video. Today's video is going to be slightly different as I wanted to discuss my honest opinions and my first impressions of the game. Let me begin by saying that about 2 to 3 weeks ago I was invited to the Square Enix offices to get my hands on with Just Cause 4. During my time there I was able to play the game for over 4 hours. I had no limitation as to what I can do or see, but of course I am limited in my ability to talk about spoilers or any features the developers want to save for later. I guess I should also say that my flights and transport to and from the office was all paid for by Square Enix. So today I wanted to talk about some of the stuff I liked and disliked about the game and just give you kind of my honest impressions of the game, so hopefully that can kind of steer you in the right direction if you want to pick up the game or not. Whilst I was there, I was playing the preview build of the game. It wasn't the finished product, so anything I say could be changed by the time the game launches in December. With all that out of the way, let's talk about it. I should start by saying I had a blast with the game. The game felt polished, well optimized, and seemed to address a lot of issues of the previous games. I feel like the game didn't have any restrictions. Anything I could come up with in my head, I could probably do in the game, which I think is very important in an open world sandbox game, one that is obviously single player only. First, let's talk about the world. The world felt so much better than Just Cause 3. The variety of terrain and different biomes was all there, so you never find yourself in the same environment for too long. There was plenty of different city types and villages for you to mess around in and explore. No matter where you were, you always had a few landmarks in the distance to go towards and keep yourself busy. It also has to be said that the level of detail and the complexity and the verticality of many of these locations were truly amazing. Personally speaking, I don't think a lot of people will have anything to complain about regarding the world. It is massive, it is populated, it is detailed, there's just things to do as opposed to Just Cause 3 where the map felt kind of empty at times. Another thing I wanted to touch on was the optimization. I played the PC version of the game with a controller and the game felt silky smooth at 1080p. There was absolutely zero performance hiccups with my 4 hours I've spent with the game. Obviously there were bugs and glitches, but it was kind of to be expected from an early build of the game. They still have a lot of time to iron those out, so hopefully by the time the game releases it's gonna feel really solid. The thing that really surprised me though, how polished and finished the game felt. I felt like I was playing the finished product, like I was playing the real deal, the final version of the game, which was quite pleasant. Hopefully the performance will be good in consoles too, so we have a solid experience across all platforms. One of the most common comments I've seen is that a lot of fans don't see it as a real upgrade over Just Cause 3. They see it as Just Cause 3 with crazy weather added on top of it. Yes, I do have to say that the game isn't revolutionary for the franchise, but it is, however, a true sequel in my opinion. The amount of quality of life improvements and new features that are genuinely interesting and will keep the players busy for countless hours, increasing the value for money of the game, was all there. We are getting so many different vehicles, weapons, destruction is better than ever, there are more compelling side quests and side activities to do, and all the stuff I've mentioned and talked about in the past. If you're a Just Cause fan, you'll find yourself right at home with this game. You won't feel any sort of restrictions put upon you, but if you're new to the series, I honestly think this is the best place to start with how welcoming and accessible the game felt. From the very beginning, you just kind of pick up the game and know exactly what to do. You just kind of make up your own fun, and that was all fun and games. Let's quickly touch on combat and vehicle handling. The combat felt good, it felt punchy and responsive for sure. I did run into an issue where sometimes I wouldn't come across a lot of enemies when I was trying to start a fight, but that could obviously be due to a bug. The weapons feel very satisfying to use and feel unique. Thanks to alternate fire and enemy variety made combat more interesting in my opinion. The vehicle handling, I don't know how much I can say about it. I did feel like driving and flying felt more responsive, like you were truly in control of those vehicles. But it's hard for me to make a direct comparison to Just Cause 3 as I only played Just Cause 4 with a controller, which I have never done for Just Cause 3. On the topic of vehicles, there is a lot of them with different abilities. A lot of them do look very different from the previous games, but there are also some recycled vehicle models I have noticed, which I don't mind too much, but I'm sure some people might be of a different opinion. One thing that I wasn't too big of a fan of was the first person mode. so it actually wasn't included for planes in my build of the game, but should be in by the time the game launches. But I don't think it was the first person I was hoping for. Essentially, first person mode in Just Cause 4 is placing a camera on the front of the vehicle. I would much rather have it in the cockpit view where you can see the interior of the vehicle, obviously Rico's hands and everything. It would just feel a lot more immersive. That could be of course added by the time the game launches. I'm not sure, we'll just have to wait and see. During my play session, I couldn't help but think of how much the game would benefit from a co-op or a multiplayer mode. I'll give you a quick example here. When I was using the Spearhead, which is the biggest ship in the game, if you missed that video, I do recommend you check it out so you guys have a better understanding of what I'm talking about. But basically, when I was swimming around trying to spawn vehicles in and all sorts of different types of turrets, I was wishing to have someone there with me controlling the ship as I was shooting the cannons on the front of it, or fly a cargo plane with someone on the back with an RPG taking out ground targets. I think it would make the game more fun. Hopefully, Just Cause 5 will have native multiplayer or co-op. I know Just Cause series from the very beginning was a single player only experience, so I'm sure a lot of fans wouldn't like to see any sort of multiplayer mode, but I think for the longevity of the game, it is kind of important to have a multiplayer mode, especially in an open world sandbox game like this. I think you're just gonna have a lot more fun with your friends than you can have in single player. With that being said, the amount of content we get in Just Cause 4, I don't think the wait for a potential Just Cause 4 multiplayer mod or Just Cause 5 is going to be too difficult. With all that being said, to summarize, I really enjoyed my time with the game. The content and the fun factor of the game is there, and it really feels like the most polished and quality Just Cause game I've played so far. With that being said, obviously there were bugs and glitches here and there. I think I had one crash or two, but it's kind of to be expected from a pre-release beta of the game. I truly hope some of my excitement for the game showed through the videos that I've made on the channel already. I was also thinking about doing a Q&A where you guys ask me any sort of questions you have regarding Just Cause 4, and I'll try and answer them to the best of my ability. So all you have to do is just leave those questions in the comment section, and the next video we're gonna hopefully answer some of those. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe for more Just Cause 4 content in the future. I do also have a public Discord if you guys want to join that. The link is going to be in the description. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you're gonna have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, goodbye. Bye 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 bye.